During the last part of the 19th century, American entrepreneurs created a revolution in retail shopping by appealing to the thrifty shopper and offering a wide variety of merchandise to save customers time. John Josiah Newberry was no different. In 1894, the Pennsylvania native began his career as a clerk in a local department store called Fowler, Dick, and Walker. During this time, he learned the ins and outs of running a store and became fascinated with starting his own business. In 1899, he joined S.H. Kress & Company, where he stayed for 10 years. After many years of learning and working his way up the corporate ladder, Newberry decided it was time for him to open his own retail store, and he did so in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania in 1911. The company became a family business. J.J. Newberry was joined in management by his brothers C.T. Newberry and Edgar Newberry in 1919, at which time there were already 17 stores with yearly sales of $500,000. With his brothers helping him manage the business, the Newberry chain grew quickly. Over the next decade, the company became a chain of nationwide retail stores that employed thousands of people. The formula for their success was simple: low prices, with most dry goods only costing a nickel or a dime. They also carried toys and candy for the kids, and fabric and craft items for housewives. Similar to Woolworths, Kress, and others, they also had a lunch counter that served simple meals to hungry patrons. Over the years, J.J. Newberry's continued to acquire other chains to help them spread across the country. From the 1930s to the 1960s, the Newberry chain was among America's retail powerhouses, competing with the likes of Woolworth and S.S. Kresge Company for the discount market. At the time of founder J.J. Newberry's death in 1954, the chain had reached nearly 500 stores. By 1961, the company had increased to close to 600 locations, and they had total yearly sales of nearly $300 million. The chain also revived an old brand that they owned, and in the 1960s, they reintroduced a regional store called Britt's Department Store. In 1972, J.J. Newberry was sold to the Rapid American Corporation and was merged with McCrory Stores. It continued to operate under the Newberry name as a division of McCrory. They even opened new stores under the Newberry name in the Northeast and California, where the name had a strong presence. The company continued to thrive throughout the 1980s, but the early 90s weren't so nice. The demise of the company became evident following a Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing in 1992. 300 McCrory stores, including many of the Newberry locations, closed in 1997. In 2000, most of the remaining Newberrys and other McCrory-branded Five and Dime stores had been converted into the Dollar Zone brand, as McCrory's attempted to radically change its business model. The remaining Newberry stores all closed, with the very last J.J. Newberry store in Portland, Oregon, closing in 2001. The entire McCrory's chain was also closed by February of 2002. Early J.J. Newberry stores featured a recognizable logo composed of gold or white letters on a red background that usually occupied the entire width of the store. Later stores featured a cursive 1960s modern logo style dropping the JJ altogether. The lettering used to represent the chain of stores was iconic, and it still brings back memories of Saturday morning shopping with Mom, and if you were lucky, maybe even a stop at the lunch counter for a milkshake before heading home. From modest beginnings in Pennsylvania to becoming one of the largest retail companies in the country, J.J. Newberry's would go on to meet the same fate as all of the other five and dime stores that were popular during the middle of the 20th century. Yet we still have the wonderful memories that can take us right back to the great times spent shopping at J.J. Newberry's.